Before you make that call, before you send that message, before you take that step you've been planning, I need you to stop for just a moment and listen to what I'm about to share with you. Because today, March 17th, something extraordinary is happening in the invisible architecture of the cosmos, and it's creating what spiritual practitioners have long recognized as a universal stop signal. If you've been feeling an unusual resistance lately, if plans that seemed certain suddenly feel uncertain, if doors that were opening now appear to be closing, if you're experiencing an inexplicable hesitation about something you were once sure about, you need to understand that this isn't random. This isn't your anxiety playing tricks on you. This is the universe itself intervening in your path, and it's doing so for a very specific reason. The energy surrounding March 17th carries a distinct quality that astrologers and spiritual guides have observed throughout history. It's a day when the cosmic forces align in such a way that they create what we might call a protective barrier. A moment when the universe essentially says, not yet, not this way, not with this person, not down this road. And the fascinating thing is, most people will completely miss this signal. They'll push through the resistance, ignore the signs, override their intuition, and wonder later why things fell apart in ways they never anticipated. But you're here right now, reading these words, and that itself is not coincidence. Your soul recognized something in the title of this message, something that resonated with what you've been feeling, and it guided you here to receive information that could fundamentally alter the trajectory of your next few weeks, possibly your entire year. Throughout this message, I'm going to explain exactly what's happening in the cosmos today, why this particular alignment creates such a powerful stop energy, and most importantly, how to recognize whether the universe is sending you this signal personally. Because while March 17th carries this energy collectively, there are specific individuals for whom this message is absolutely critical. People who are standing at a crossroads right now. People who are about to make decisions that will shape their future in profound ways. Before we go deeper, I want you to do something that will help anchor this message in your awareness. Take a moment right now to subscribe to this channel, and in the comments below, write the words I hear you, universe. This simple act of acknowledgement creates an energetic agreement between you and the cosmic forces that are trying to guide you. It's a way of saying, I'm paying attention. I'm open to receiving this guidance. I'm willing to trust what I cannot yet fully see. Now, let's talk about what makes March 17th so uniquely powerful as a day of cosmic intervention and redirection. In astrology, there are certain days throughout the year when planetary alignments create what we call energetic gateways. These are moments when the veil between the visible and invisible worlds becomes thinner, when spiritual guidance flows more freely, when the universe can communicate with us more directly. March 17th is one of these days, but it carries a very specific type of energy that differs from other cosmic gateways. On this day, we have a convergence of influences that create what spiritual practitioners recognize as a protective pause. The planetary positions are forming aspects that essentially create friction in forward movement, not because the universe wants to frustrate you, but because it's trying to prevent you from entering situations, relationships, or circumstances that are not aligned with your highest path. Think of it this way. Imagine you're driving down a road at night, and suddenly your car's engine starts making a strange sound. You could ignore it and keep driving, or you could pull over and investigate. The universe operates in a similar way. When you're heading towards something that isn't meant for you, it begins sending signals, creating resistance, introducing obstacles, not to punish you, but to protect you from destinations that would ultimately cause you harm or delay your true purpose. The specific astrological configuration on March 17th involves Mars, the planet of action and forward momentum, forming a challenging aspect with Saturn, the planet of boundaries and karmic lessons. When these two forces interact in this particular way, They create an energetic field that makes impulsive action feel difficult, that introduces delays into plans, that causes second thoughts about decisions that previously seemed clear. But here's what makes this even more significant. This Mars-Saturn tension is happening while Mercury, the planet governing communication and decision-making, is in a position that amplifies confusion and miscommunication. It's as if the universe is creating a perfect store of circumstances designed to make you pause, reconsider, and wait before moving forward. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds like fear-based astrology, like I'm trying to scare you into inaction. But that's not what this is about at all. This is about recognizing that the universe has intelligence, that cosmic timing exists for a reason, and that sometimes the greatest act of wisdom is knowing when not to act. Let me share something with you that might help this make more sense. In traditional spiritual teachings across many cultures, there's a concept that translates roughly to divine timing. The idea is that there are optimal moments for certain actions, relationships, and decisions, and there are moments when those same actions would lead to unnecessary struggle or pain. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, tries to guide us toward the optimal moments and away from the problematic ones. March 17th is what we might call a day of cosmic redirection. It's a day when the universe is actively working to steer people away from paths that aren't meant for them, even if those paths look appealing on the surface, even if they seem like exactly what you want right now. And here's something fascinating that I've observed over years of studying these cosmic patterns. The people who ignore these universal stop signals almost always report, months later, that they wish they had waited. They describe feeling like they were pushing against an invisible force, like they had to work unusually hard to make something happen, like there were constant obstacles and complications. And then, when things eventually fell apart, they realized that all those obstacles were actually the universe trying to protect them from a situation that was never going to work out the way they hoped. On the other hand, the people who honor these cosmic pause moments, who trust the resistance they're feeling and choose to wait, almost always report that clarity came shortly after. They describe how within days or weeks, new information emerged that completely changed their perspective. They talk about how a better opportunity appeared once they stopped forcing the original plan. They recognize, in hindsight, that the delay saved them from significant pain or wasted time. So what does this mean for you specifically today? It means that if you've been planning to make a significant move, if you've been about to have an important conversation, if you've been ready to commit to a decision, and you're feeling any sense of hesitation, any unusual resistance, any inexplicable doubt, you need to pay attention to that feeling, because that feeling might not be your fear or insecurity. It might be your intuition picking up on the cosmic signal that's being broadcast today. The universe communicates with us in subtle ways. It doesn't usually send dramatic signs or obvious messages. Instead, it works through our intuition, through synchronicities, through the feeling of flow or resistance in our lives. When something is meant for us, when the timing is right, there's a quality of ease to it. Things fall into place. Doors open naturally. The path forward feels clear even if it's challenging. But when something isn't meant for us, or when the timing isn't right, there's a quality of struggle. We have to force things. Doors keep closing. Obstacles keep appearing. And we feel this internal resistance that we often try to override with logic or willpower. March 17th amplifies this natural guidance system. The cosmic energies today are making that resistance more noticeable, more undeniable, specifically so that you'll pay attention to it before you make a move you'll regret. Now, let me be very specific about the types of situations where this cosmic stop signal is most relevant today. First, romantic relationships and emotional commitments. If you've been considering reaching out to someone from your past, if you've been thinking about confessing feelings to someone, If you've been planning to take a relationship to the next level, and you're feeling any hesitation today, honor that hesitation. The universe might be protecting you from emotional entanglement with someone whose path is not truly aligned with yours. Even if it feels like it is right now, there's a particular quality to the energy today that makes people see relationships through a lens of illusion. You might be projecting qualities onto someone that they don't actually possess. You might be remembering a past connection through rose-colored glasses, forgetting the very real reasons why it ended. You might be rushing toward commitment because you're afraid of being alone, not because the person is truly right for you. The cosmic stop signal today is asking you to wait, to observe, to let more time pass before you make emotional commitments or reopen closed chapters, because what feels urgent today might feel completely different in a week, once this particular energetic influence passes and you can see the situation more clearly. Second, career decisions and professional commitments. If you've been about to accept a job offer, sign a contract, start a business partnership, or make a significant professional move, and something feels off, even if you can't articulate exactly what it is, do not ignore that feeling today. The Mars-Saturn aspect is particularly relevant to career matters, and it's creating an energy field where professional decisions made today are more likely to lead to complications, restrictions, or situations that feel limiting down the road. This doesn't mean every career opportunity presenting itself today is wrong. It means that if you're feeling resistance, if there are unusual delays, if paperwork isn't coming through smoothly, if communication with potential employers or partners feels confusing, these are signs that you need to slow down and gather more information before committing. I've seen countless examples of people who signed contracts or accepted positions during these types of cosmic configurations, only to discover within weeks that the role wasn't what was promised, that the company culture was toxic, that the partnership was built on misunderstandings, or that they had overlooked red flags in their eagerness to move forward. The universe is giving you permission today to wait, to ask more questions, to request more time before making professional commitments. Any legitimate opportunity will still be available after you've had time to consider it more carefully. And if it's not, then it probably wasn't the right opportunity in the first place. Third, financial decisions and major purchases. The energy of March 17th is particularly unfavorable for making significant financial commitments. If you've been planning to make a large purchase, invest money, lend money to someone, or enter into any financial agreement, and you're feeling any uncertainty, postpone the decision if at all possible. Mercury's position today creates a higher likelihood of miscommunication around financial matters, of overlooking important details in contracts, of making decisions based on incomplete information. Saturn's influence suggests that financial commitments made today are more likely to become burdensome or restrictive over time. This is a day to review financial documents carefully, to ask questions, to seek advice from trusted sources, but not necessarily a day to sign on the dotted line. The cosmic energy is asking you to be more cautious than usual, to take your time, to make sure you fully understand what you're agreeing to before you commit your resources. And here's something really important to understand about today's energy. The cosmic stop signal isn't necessarily telling you that the thing you're considering is wrong forever. It's telling you that right now, in this moment, with the information you currently have, moving forward would be premature. It's possible that the same opportunity, relationship, or decision will be absolutely right for you in a few weeks or months. Once certain factors have shifted, once you have more clarity, once the timing has aligned properly. This is why spiritual teachers throughout history have emphasized the importance of patience and divine timing. They understood that the universe operates on rhythms and cycles that are often invisible to our limited human perspective. What looks like a delay from our viewpoint might actually be perfect timing from the universe's perspective. So how do you know if the cosmic stop signal is meant specifically for you today? Let me give you some very clear indicators that the universe is asking you personally to pause and reconsider. First, you're experiencing unusual technical difficulties or logistical obstacles. If you've been trying to make something happen today, and you keep running into unexpected problems, if technology keeps malfunctioning, if people aren't responding to your messages, if appointments keep getting cancelled or rescheduled, if there are delays in processes that should be straightforward, these are not just random inconveniences. These are the universe's way of physically preventing you from moving forward until the timing is right. I want to share a story that perfectly illustrates this principle. A few years ago, I was working with a client who was absolutely convinced she needed to relocate to a different city for a job opportunity. She had been planning this move for weeks, had given notice at her current job, and was ready to sign a lease on an apartment in the new city. But then, on the day she was supposed to sign the lease, everything started going wrong. Her car broke down on the way to the appointment. Her phone died. The leasing office had a computer system failure. She ended up not being able to sign that day. She was frustrated and wanted to reschedule immediately, but I encouraged her to take these obstacles as a sign to pause and reconsider. She reluctantly agreed to wait a week before trying again. During that week, she received a phone call from a company in her current city, offering her a position that was actually better suited to her skills and paid significantly more than the job she was planning to relocate for. She also discovered, through a friend, that the neighborhood where she was planning to move had recently experienced a surge in crime that hadn't been reported in the news yet. Looking back, she realized that all those obstacles on the day she was supposed to sign the lease were the universe protecting her from a decision that would have taken her away from a better opportunity and potentially put her in an unsafe situation. The technical difficulties and logistical problems weren't random bad luck. They were cosmic intervention. Second indicator that the stop signal is meant for you. You're feeling physically exhausted or unwell in ways that don't have an obvious medical explanation. The body is incredibly sensitive to energetic shifts, and when the universe is trying to slow you down, it will sometimes work through your physical body to make forward movement literally impossible. If you woke up today feeling unusually drained, if you're experiencing headaches, digestive issues, or a general sense of malaise that doesn't seem to have a clear cause, your body might be responding to the cosmic energy and trying to force you to rest and reconsider before taking action. This is especially significant if you were feeling fine yesterday, and suddenly today you're struggling with low energy or physical discomfort. The universe knows that humans are stubborn creatures. We often ignore mental and emotional signals because we can rationalize them away. But physical symptoms are harder to ignore. When your body is telling you to slow down, to rest, to wait, it's worth listening to that message, especially on a day like today when the cosmic energies are specifically designed to create pause. Third indicator, you're experiencing unusual emotional turbulence or mental confusion. If you've been feeling more anxious than usual, if your thoughts are racing, if you're second-guessing yourself constantly, if you're feeling emotionally reactive or unstable, these are signs that your energy field is picking up on the cosmic turbulence of the day. The Mercury influence today creates a fog around clear thinking and communication. You might find yourself unable to articulate what you want to say, struggling to make decisions that would normally be straightforward, or feeling like your mind is clouded and unclear. This mental fog is not a personal failing. It's a cosmic condition that's affecting everyone to some degree, but it's affecting you more strongly if you're someone who needs to pause and reconsider a significant decision. When you're in this state of mental confusion or emotional turbulence, it's not the time to make important choices or have crucial conversations. Wait until the fog lifts, until your mind feels clear again, until your emotions have settled. The clarity will come, but it might not come today. And that's okay. Fourth indicator, you're receiving messages or signs that seem to be warning you away from something. This might come in the form of dreams that feel significant, Conversations where people unexpectedly share information that's relevant to your situation, or synchronicities that seem to be pointing you in a different direction than you were planning to go. Pay attention to what the universe is showing you today. If you're thinking about someone and then you hear a song that reminds you of a painful aspect of that relationship, that's not random. If you're considering a business opportunity and then you overhear a conversation about someone who had a bad experience with a similar venture, that's not coincidence. If you're planning to make a purchase and then you see multiple articles or posts about problems with that product or service, the universe is trying to give you information. Because Cosmic energy today amplifies these synchronistic messages. The universe is working overtime to communicate with you, to guide you, to protect you from paths that aren't meant for you. But you have to be willing to receive these messages, to acknowledge them, to let them influence your decisions. No, but I want to address something that might be coming up for some of you as you're hearing this message. You might be thinking, but I've been waiting so long already. I'm tired of waiting. I need to move forward. I need to make something happen. I understand that feeling completely. In a world that constantly tells us to hustle, to push, to make things happen through sheer force of will, the idea of waiting can feel like giving up or being passive. But here's what I need you to understand. There's a profound difference between passive waiting and active patience. Passive waiting is when you're stuck, when you're avoiding taking responsibility, when you're hoping that something will magically change without any effort on your part. That's not what the universe is asking of you today. Active patience is when you're consciously choosing to honor divine timing, when you're using the pause to gather more information, to strengthen yourself, to prepare for the right moment. Active patience is strategic. It's wise. It's powerful. It's the difference between forcing a door open and waiting for the door to open naturally when the time is right. The universe is asking you today to practice active patience. Use this pause to reflect deeply on what you really want. Not what you think you should want. Not what others expect of you. But what your soul is truly calling for. Use this time to observe the situation more carefully. To notice details you might have overlooked in your eagerness to move forward. Use this pause to strengthen your intuition. To connect more deeply with your inner guidance system. There's a concept in martial arts called Mai, which refers to the proper distance and timing in combat. A skilled martial artist knows that attacking at the wrong moment, even with perfect technique, will fail. But attacking at the right moment, even with imperfect technique, can succeed. The same principle applies to life decisions. The right action at the wrong time produces wrong results. But even an imperfect action at the right time can lead to success. March 17th is asking you to develop your sense of AI in your own life, to become more attuned to the rhythms of right timing, to trust that there are optimal moments for action and that this might not be one of them for the particular move you're considering. Let me share another story that illustrates the power of honoring cosmic timing. I once knew a man who had been trying to start a business for years. He had the idea, the skills, the resources. But every time he tried to launch, something would go wrong. Funding would fall through. Partners would back out. Market conditions would shift. He was becoming increasingly frustrated, feeling like the universe was working against him. Then, during one of these periods of forced pause, he attended a networking event he almost didn't go to because he was feeling discouraged. At that event, he met someone who introduced him to a technology that completely transformed his business concept, making it 10 times more viable than his original plan. He also met his future business partner, someone whose skills perfectly complemented his own. When he finally launched his business 6 months later than he had originally planned, it was with a much stronger foundation, better partnerships, and a more innovative approach than he could have achieved if his earlier attempts had succeeded. He later told me that all those delays and obstacles that had frustrated him so much were actually the universe's way of positioning him for the right opportunity at the right time with the right people. This is what I want you to understand about today's cosmic stop signal. It's not punishment. It's not the universe being cruel or arbitrary. It's protection. It's guidance. It's the cosmos working behind the scenes to align circumstances in your favor, even when it doesn't feel that way in the moment. Now, let's talk about what you should actually do today if you're receiving this stop signal. First and most importantly, give yourself permission to wait. Release the pressure you're putting on yourself to make something happen right now. Trust that if an opportunity is truly meant for you, it will still be available when the timing is right. And if it's not available later, then it wasn't the right opportunity in the first place. Second, use today for reflection and information gathering rather than action and commitment. This is an excellent day to research, to ask questions, to seek advice from trusted sources, to journal about your thoughts and feelings, to meditate on what you really want. But it's not the day to sign contracts, make commitments, or take irreversible steps. Third, pay attention to your dreams tonight and over the next few days. The subconscious mind often processes information that the conscious mind hasn't fully grasped yet. Your dreams might provide insights, warnings, or guidance about the situation you're considering. Keep a journal by your bed and write down anything significant that comes through in your dream state. Fourth, practice grounding and centering techniques today. The cosmic energy is creating turbulence, and you need to anchor yourself so you're not swept away by emotional reactions or mental confusion. Spend time in nature if possible. Practice deep breathing. Engage in physical activity that helps you feel connected to your body. These practices will help you stay centered and clear-headed despite the chaotic energy in the atmosphere. If you absolutely must make a decision or take action today because circumstances don't allow for delay, then at minimum, slow down the process as much as possible. Take extra time to review details. Ask more questions than you normally would. Seek input from people you trust. Build in safeguards and exit strategies. Don't let anyone pressure you into moving faster than feels comfortable. And here's something crucial to understand. The cosmic stop signal doesn't last forever. This particular energetic configuration will begin to shift within the next few days. By the end of this week, you'll likely have much more clarity about the situation you're facing. Information that's currently hidden will come to light. Circumstances that are currently unclear will become more obvious. Your own intuition, which might feel clouded today, will sharpen again. So if you can possibly wait until this weekend or early next week to make your decision or take your action, you'll be operating from a much clearer energetic space. You'll have access to information and insights that aren't available to you right now. You'll be able to see the situation from a perspective that's currently obscured by today's cosmic fog. I also want to address those of you who might be thinking, but what if waiting means I miss my chance? What if the opportunity goes away? What if someone else takes the position? Or the person I want to connect with moves on? Or the deal falls through? These are valid concerns, and they speak to a very human fear of scarcity. The belief that good things are limited, and if we don't grab them immediately, we'll lose out. But here's a truth that spiritual wisdom has taught throughout the ages. What's truly meant for you cannot be taken from you. If an opportunity disappears because you took time to consider it carefully, then it wasn't your opportunity. If a person moves on because you didn't rush into commitment, then they weren't your person. If a deal falls through because you asked for time to review the terms, then it wasn't the right deal. The universe is infinitely abundant. There are always more opportunities, more connections, more possibilities than we can see from our limited human perspective. When we operate from a place of trust rather than fear, when we honor divine timing rather than forcing outcomes, we open ourselves to receiving what's truly aligned with our highest good. which is always better than what we could have forced into being through premature action. I want to share something with you that might fundamentally shift how you view the resistance you're experiencing today. In ancient spiritual traditions, there's a concept that translates to the wisdom of the pause. It's the understanding that in the space between impulse and action, between desire and manifestation, there exists a sacred opportunity for alignment. The masters who understood this principle knew that the quality of that pause, how we use that space, determines whether we move forward in harmony with universal flow or in opposition to it. Today, March 17th, the universe is gifting you with this sacred pause. But here's what makes it so powerful. This isn't just any ordinary moment of hesitation. This is a cosmically amplified pause, one where the energetic conditions are specifically designed to help you see what you might otherwise miss, to feel what you might otherwise ignore, to know what you might otherwise overlook. Think about the last time you made a decision you later regretted. If you're honest with yourself, there was probably a moment before you committed where something inside you hesitated, where a quiet voice whispered wait, where your intuition tried to get your attention, but you overrode it. You rationalized it away. You told yourself you were being paranoid or overthinking or letting fear hold you back. And then, weeks or months later, you looked back and thought, I knew something was off. I felt it. Why didn't I listen? The cosmic stop signal today is that same intuitive whisper, but amplified to a volume that's much harder to ignore. The universe is essentially turning up the volume on your inner guidance system because it knows that what you're considering has significant consequences for your path forward. It's not trying to control you or limit you. It's trying to help you avoid the pain of looking back months from now and wishing you had waited. Let me tell you about the concept of energetic signatures. Every decision, every relationship, every opportunity carries an energetic signature, a vibrational quality that your soul can sense, even when your mind cannot articulate it. When something is truly aligned with your highest path, its energetic signature resonates with your own frequency. There's a sense of rightness, of flow, of natural unfolding. Even if the path is challenging, even if it requires courage and effort, there's an underlying current of yes that runs through it. But when something is not aligned, when the timing is off, when the person or opportunity is not meant for you, the energetic signature creates dissonance. Your soul feels this dissonance as resistance, as hesitation, as that nagging sense that something isn't quite right. The problem is purpose. We've been conditioned to ignore these subtle energetic signals. We've been taught to trust logic over intuition, to push through resistance rather than honor it, to see hesitation as weakness rather than wisdom. March 17th is a day when those energetic signatures become more pronounced, more obvious, more impossible to ignore. If you're feeling resistance today, if something that seemed clear yesterday now feels murky, if you're experiencing doubt about a decision you thought you'd already made, your soul is picking up on an energetic signature that's telling you this isn't aligned. And the cosmic conditions today are making that signal strong enough that even the most logic-driven, intuition-resistant person can feel it. Now, down we torments. I want to address something that's particularly relevant for those of you who are in situations where other people are pressuring you to make a decision today. Maybe someone is telling you that an offer expires today, that you need to commit right now, that if you don't act immediately you'll lose the opportunity. This kind of pressure is actually one of the clearest signs that the universe is waving a red flag. Legitimate opportunities, authentic relationships, and aligned paths do not require you to make rushed decisions. When someone is pressuring you to commit before you're ready, before you have time to think clearly, before you can gather all the information you need, that pressure itself is a warning sign. It suggests that they're afraid if you take time to consider carefully, you'll see something they don't want you to see, or you'll realize something they don't want you to realize. The cosmic energy today is particularly protective against manipulation and coercion. If you're feeling pressured to make a decision, if someone is using urgency or scarcity tactics to push you into commitment, the universe is asking you to step back and question why that pressure exists. A truly good opportunity will still be good tomorrow, next week, next month. A person who genuinely cares about your well-being will want you to feel certain and comfortable, not rushed and pressured. I've seen this pattern play out countless times. Someone feels pressured to make a quick decision. They override their hesitation because they're afraid of missing out. And then they discover that the urgency was manufactured, that the scarcity was artificial, that the pressure was a manipulation tactic designed to prevent them from thinking clearly. The cosmic stop signal today is especially strong for anyone in this type of situation. If you're being pressured, that pressure itself is the universe's way of showing you that something is not right. Let's talk about the spiritual principle of energetic sovereignty. This is the understanding that you have the right and the responsibility to make decisions from a place of clarity and alignment, not from a place of pressure or fear. When you honor your own timing, when you refuse to be rushed into commitments before you're ready, you're exercising energetic sovereignty. You're saying to the universe, I trust my own guidance system. I honor my own pace. I will not be manipulated into decisions that don't feel right. This is incredibly powerful, and it's exactly what the cosmic energy today is supporting. March 17th is a day that strengthens your ability to stand in your own truth, to trust your own knowing, to resist external pressure and honor internal wisdom. Every time you choose to wait when something doesn't feel right, even if you can't logically explain why, you're strengthening your connection to your intuition and your alignment with universal flow. Now, I want to share something about the aftermath of honoring cosmic stop signals, because this is where the real magic happens. When you choose to wait, when you honor the resistance you're feeling, when you trust the universe's guidance even though it means delaying something you want, you create space for something I call divine orchestration. This is when the universe begins rearranging circumstances behind the scenes in ways you cannot see or predict. I've witnessed this phenomenon so many times it's become undeniable. Someone honors the stop signal. They wait even though it's uncomfortable. They trust even though they don't understand why. And then within days or weeks, one of two things happens. Either they receive clarity that completely changes their perspective on what they were considering, showing them why waiting was necessary, or a new opportunity appears that's so obviously better, so clearly more aligned, that they're grateful they didn't commit to the original plan. This is the universe's way of rewarding trust. When you demonstrate that you're willing to honor divine timing, even when it conflicts with your personal desires or timeline, the universe responds by bringing you opportunities and connections that are truly aligned with your highest good. It's as if your willingness to wait opens a door to a higher level of cosmic support and guidance. But here's the key. You have to actually wait. You have to actually honor the signal. You can't just acknowledge the resistance and then push through it anyway, hoping that your awareness of the cosmic energy will somehow protect you from consequences. The universe is offering you guidance, but you have to be willing to follow that guidance for it to benefit you. I want to talk about something that might be particularly relevant for those of you who are dealing with matters of the heart today. The cosmic energy on March 17th has a very specific quality when it comes to romantic relationships and emotional connections. There's a tendency today for people to see relationships through a lens of projection rather than reality. You might be projecting qualities onto someone that they don't actually possess. You might be remembering a past connection in a way that's more idealized than accurate. You might be feeling drawn to someone because of what they represent to you rather than who they actually are. This is why the stop signal is so important in romantic matters today. The heart can be incredibly persuasive, especially when it wants something. It can create elaborate stories about why a relationship will work, why a person will change, why this time will be different. But the cosmic energy today is asking you to look beyond those stories, to see the actual patterns, to acknowledge the real history, to be honest about what is rather than what you wish could be. If you're thinking about reaching out to an ex today, if you're considering confessing feelings to someone, if you're about to take a relationship to a new level of commitment, and you're feeling any hesitation, any doubt, any sense that something isn't quite right, please honor that feeling. The universe might be protecting you from reopening a wound that's finally healing, from entering a dynamic that will ultimately cause you pain, from committing to someone whose path is not truly aligned with yours. There's a beautiful teaching in spiritual wisdom that says when you let go of what's not meant for you, you create space for what is meant for you to enter. But you have to actually let go. You have to actually release. You have to actually trust that something better is coming. The cosmic energy today is supporting that release, that letting go, that trust. If you're being asked to step back from a romantic situation, it's because the universe has something better in store for you, something more aligned, something that won't require you to override your intuition or ignore red flags. Now, let's address those of you who are facing career or financial decisions today. The Mars-Saturn aspect is particularly relevant to professional matters, and it's creating an energy field where commitments made today are more likely to lead to restrictions, limitations, or situations that feel burdensome over time. This doesn't mean every professional opportunity presenting itself today is wrong. It means that if you're feeling resistance, if there are unusual delays, if communication feels unclear, these are signs to slow down. I want you to understand something about professional decisions made under this type of cosmic influence. They tend to reveal their true nature slowly over time. What looks like a great opportunity today might show its limitations weeks or months down the road. What seems like a perfect fit right now might turn out to have hidden complications that weren't apparent at first. This is why the universe is asking you to take more time, to ask questions, to gather more information before committing. Think about it this way. If you're buying a house, you wouldn't skip the inspection just because you're excited about the property. You'd want to know about any structural issues, any hidden problems, any potential complications before you commit to such a significant purchase. The same principle applies to career decisions. The cosmic energy today is essentially offering you a free inspection period, a chance to look more closely before you commit. Why would you refuse that gift? There's also something important to understand about the nature of authentic opportunities versus manipulative ones. Authentic opportunities come from a place of abundance. They're offered with the understanding that you need time to consider, that you have other options, that your well-being matters. Manipulative opportunities come from a place of scarcity. They use pressure, urgency, and fear of missing out to push you into quick decisions. If someone is offering you a professional opportunity, but they're not willing to give you adequate time to consider it, to review contracts carefully, to seek advice from trusted sources, that unwillingness itself is information. It tells you that they're more concerned with getting your commitment than with ensuring the arrangement is truly beneficial for you. The cosmic stop signal today is particularly strong for anyone dealing with this type of pressure in professional contexts. Let me share one final story that I think beautifully illustrates the power of honoring cosmic timing. Several years ago, I worked with a woman who had been offered what seemed like her dream job. It was at a prestigious company. It paid well. It aligned with her skills and interests. She was ready to accept immediately. But then, on the day she was supposed to sign the offer letter, she woke up with an overwhelming sense of dread that she couldn't explain. She felt physically ill at the thought of signing, even though logically the opportunity seemed perfect. She called me in a panic, asking what she should do. I encouraged her to trust her intuition, to ask for more time before accepting. Even though she was afraid the offer would be withdrawn, she nervously called the company and asked for a few more days to consider. They agreed, though they seemed surprised by her hesitation. During those few days, she did some deeper research into the company. She reached out to people who had worked there. She paid attention to her dreams and her intuitive impressions. And what she discovered was troubling. Multiple former employees described a toxic work culture that wasn't visible from the outside. The company had a pattern of promising opportunities for advancement that never materialized. The leadership style was controlling and micromanaging in ways that would have been deeply incompatible with her need for autonomy. She ended up declining the offer, and within 2 weeks, she was contacted by a different company, one she hadn't even applied to, offering her a position that was actually better suited to her skills and values. The person who reached out to her had heard about her work through a mutual connection and had been trying to find the right opportunity to bring her on board. If she had accepted the first offer, she would have missed this second opportunity entirely. She later learned that several people who had accepted positions at the first company around the same time she was considering it had already left within 6 months, describing it as one of the worst professional experiences of their lives. Her intuitive dread, that unexplainable sense that something was wrong, had been her soul's way of protecting her from a situation that would have caused significant stress and setback in her career. This is what I want you to understand about the cosmic stop signal you might be receiving today. It's not random. It's not your fear.